Hey guys, how you doing? It's me, the Wren. Darlene, back again. It's late tonight. And I was sleeping before. I got up because this was on my mind and I wanted to share it with you guys. I've talked about this in some detail before. This concept of community. Now, I've seen some recent videos in the past that kind of sparked this on the pagan type of concept of community. Now, you guys know Shinshracht, being Gaelic polytheism, its root is tribalism. And what I mean by that is there is the concept of family, one's immediate family, your wife, your partner, your spouse, your children, your mother and your father, your grandparents, the people within your family. Now, if you look at Irish law, there's all different terms that can be used for different types of family, the different types of units, different types of households, extended family, the concept of pobble is people, congregation, or community. It's a very large term, broad term. Tuha, everybody thinks, oh, we're a part of a tribe. We're a part of a Tuha. We're starting a Tuha. A Tuha is huge in the traditional sense. Those are many, 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 many families. But this idea of pagan community, now you know the stance I always take is culture, the Gaelic culture. So the pagan community that's often dismissive of the culture, they focus primarily on the faith or the spirituality, sometimes even a new age version of the spirituality, things like Obad or ADF. There is a large focus on self-improvement, creativity, and there is a lot of beneficial things. I'm not always bashing on Druid orders, though it may seem. But there is some very positive things that can come out of it. I guess my only stance on this is I wish that they were a little bit more open-minded on the concept of culture, because they do, in fact, talk about community. Now, what community means to them, I think, is a very different thing than what it means for us. Things like Obad, there's a very large community. It's worldwide. You have this order, this organization that pulls membership from around the globe. You have these big pockets within the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and America, which seems to be very spread out. But a pagan community is much different than a cultural one. The cultural community has so many different things going on with the spiritual aspect of that culture only being a part of that. It seems like the pagan community has a large focus of an online community, forums, message boards, and keeping in touch via technology. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that is your only means, then you use it as a tool. And it's a wonderful tool. You can keep in contact with friends and family that live overseas. You can invite people that either could be handicapped or invite people to celebrate with you via technology. There's no reason why I couldn't invite somebody that couldn't make a gathering and stick them up on a live chat or Skype and set up my phone and my tripod so they're kind of here in the room with us. That's a good use of a tool, you're right. But I think to rely on that, there's a danger. And what I mean by that is there's nothing in place, there's nothing that can substitute like the real one-on-one or the real in-person value, something that you take away from this experience of being in the presence of your people. I mean, you only might see your people once or twice a year sometimes. But if your only means is networking and being connected, feeling an emotional connection or a spiritual connection or even a cultural one via technology, I would urge you to change that. Now, I'm not asking you to go out and build one. That could be next to impossible. Now, Robert has a page. I think he calls it Cumhaltach na Gael, the Fellowship of the Gael, where he talks a little bit more about community and growing it and what steps you could take to, put something together in a way. But if your only means of sharing, growing, and learning from one another with people that you consider either friends or what have you is online, it has to start with family. If it's not with your wife or your husband, your partner, your spouse, or whatever have you, your live-in, your life partner, spreading to the children, within the family, sharing it with other like-minded families. Even if you only get together casually, once a month would be perfect. Have a potluck, throw some music on, work in the kitchen together, and just share in each other's company. Now, there's people that I feel very close with that don't live nearby. Robert is far away from me. James is far away from me. And when I say far, well, Robert's about an 8-hour drive, and James might be about 10 at this point. But they're my people. Possibly because America is a very spread out place. We have to look at the concept of tribe and travel, which is in a video I already did. It is very important to understand tribe and travel and what it used to mean to our ancestors and what it means now. Don't fall for the whole Hollywood that these people must be within our town or within our closest city. It's not always the case. But I would urge those pagans, in a broad sense, neo-druids even, that community, the real value there is not just the communication, it's the actual being in the presence of the people, being with the people. And then the culture. I know overseas, Obad has lots of things that they're doing. Talks and get-togethers and presentations, and there's wonderful things that they're involved with. But stepping outside of Obad, I can clearly see where is the use of the language? Where is the everyday customs? The culture. The faith is a part of the culture. And I'm not seeing that very much. It's not very present, which is weird because they're in the homelands, They're over there. They're connected to the land. Maybe because we're here stateside, across the pond, we feel more. I think maybe they feel more connected to the land, where we feel separate from the land, but we're part of the diaspora. And being a part of the diaspora, we connect automatically through the culture. It's really hard to put your finger on. A lot of people have said to me throughout the last maybe 5 years that it's just not possible. It's not within their means to be a part of a community, or there is no community and they don't know what to do. It has to start with your immediate family, and then your closest friends. The culture. You build from the culture. It's not always about getting together simply to celebrate seasonal festivals. It's about being there all the time. The people, on the broad sense, the community, is made up of many, many families. And that's tribalism right there, the concept of family. We have a large focus upon that in Shinshrukt. It's understandable that not everybody's a tribalist. Not everybody's okay with, working with a family. Some people are hesitant with their children, or some people even have social anxiety and they have a hard time being around large groups of people. Maybe your group is 4 or 5 people. And that's fine, Maybe your group that focuses upon these things is 4 or 5 people, and you meet bi-weekly. That's great, because you guys become a nice, tight-knit circle. You can text each other at 2 a.m. with a problem. You can share silly things. And just like any family, there's going to be people that don't mix well or you don't feel completely drawn to. You know, that group over there, you're like, yeah, you accept them, but you often don't have things to say or share. You don't feel very close with those guys. But these people over here, you're really close with. But those others, they're not shunned, they're accepted. They have a value. There is something that they offer. Lots more could be said on this idea of community. I might revisit this at another time. But I would say there's a definite distinction between pagan community and then what it means within something like Shintracht, or even Gaelic polytheism in a broader sense as well. I mean, all one has to do is look at our history, look at the clans, look at how tribes were. So I'll encourage you, if you're not doing it now, take that step. Try to move forward on that. Share things with your partner. Learn and grow together. Share it with your children. They're a part of you. They're a part of them. They're a part of the culture. They should be growing up with the culture. They're a part of the community. And as they get older, they'll have a voice within the community. They'll have something to share, something to offer. We learn a lot from them. We should be. So, if you don't belong to a community right now, tell me what kind of community that you do belong to. Is it an online one? How does it work? I'm curious because I don't really understand the pagan, the neo-pagan, or the neo-druid, mindset on what they view as community. It's something that's kind of abstract to me. I've never really understood it because it doesn't seem like there's a big family focus. It seems like there's self-interest, and then that self-interest is shared collectively through a very, very large, and because it's very large, it seems almost disconnected. It's not like there's many families, like, maybe there's, for an example here, there's my family and these other families that join us, and we belong to this group, and our group belongs to the group that's way over there, and we're a part of a bigger group. And the same thing could be said about other groups. Smaller hearth groups belong to other larger groups, and some groups are simply just family groups. But we could all kind of come together, and there would still be this sense of like a family reunion. There would still be a sense of community, a sense of a people, where I never felt that when I traveled overseas, when I was bopping around visiting sites with Obad. I got a sense that there was a group, that there was an order, that there was people involved, but I never really got a sense of the traditional family units or community based on clan or tribe or anything like that. It's interesting. But if you got something to say, something to share, I'd love to hear about it because it's something that completely eludes me. Hope you guys are well. I'm doing all right. Had a doctor appointment today. Had a yearly physical. Put some things in check, which is good. And have some tests to do tomorrow. Kind of personal stuff. I think I'll be all right. But yeah, let me know. If you feel inspired to leave a comment, let me know about your community. Something that you belong to that feels like a community. I'd love to hear about it. Hope you guys are well. We'll talk to you soon. Slangafol and Iwa.